Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 351.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
two
crazy
ketos. Welcome back to the channel.
It's the holiday times.
It is.
I waited until December 1st, Joe. Are you proud of me?
I am very proud of you. Of course, that is why the title for today's video is actually, how do you survive the holidays?
Because they're here.
They're here.
We're smack dab in the middle.
Is it okay to go off plan during the holidays? So we'll talk about that a little later on. Let's start off with today's sponsor. And today's sponsor is actually Keto Chow and Salty.
Keto Chow and Salty.
So if you don't know what Keto Chow is, it is a meal replacement shake, but it's so much more because you get to determine the amount of calories, the type of fat, and the amount of fat that you're putting in there. So it's not like drinking a Slim Fast because it's actually going to have healthy fats and also be a true meal. You can also eat it as ice cream, which is delicious.
My favorite.
But then also salty. So Salty, who is made by the same company that makes Keto Chow, is an amazing electrolyte. And I do want to mention, which I forgot to bring in, here it is. They have a new test flavor right now. It is green apple.
It's
Tastes
amazing.
like a green apple Jolly Rancher. For you grape fans, I'm going to tell you it's better than grape. And that's a hard pill for me to swallow. It is better than grape.
He loves grape.
But anyway, here's the deal, is they are having some Black Friday sales right now. So Keto Chow right now, it's getting ready to go away. 10% off of $100, 20% off of $200, 30% off of $300. And then if you go to our Salty link, our Salty link will get you buy 3, get 1 free.
That's a fantastic
on the bags
deal.
of Salty. So check out those links before they're all gone. And as well as all of the other Black Friday sales, go back to our Black Friday videos. I mean, today's going to be the last day for a lot of them. Some of them are already gone.
It's Cyber Monday, but because of the fact that, we deal with smaller companies, things like the Carnivore Bar, they're capable of running out.
Yes.
They're just a small company. It's like Keto Brick. If you enjoy certain flavors and you're stocking up because it's Christmas time and you're, buying something for yourself as a present for the holidays, they can run out of flavors because they're making them themselves. This isn't like Nabisco.
It's funny when you're talking about some of these different things. There was a comment on a video talking about how they don't like influencers who are getting a bunch of free stuff and then doing reviews on them.
Oh, well.
And here is my answer to that is we do reviews on a lot of things that we buy personally.
Right, all the time.
And occasionally companies do send us things, and I don't think it's a bad thing because number one, it's a marketing thing. I mean, that's how it works. I would, even myself as a YouTube watcher,
sure,
I've learned about a lot of things through sponsorships of different companies. Like, for example, when you lost your wallet, and all of a sudden we're like, what do we do?
Right.
I went and found a couple of influencers that I know and trust and was like, I remember them working with a company that helps protect your information. So that's how I had first turned. If I didn't ever know about that, I wouldn't have known what companies to use or even that there was a company exist. For us, though, the thing is that a lot of times people come across products and we want you to know whether or not it's a good product or not, whether or not you should consume it. Like, I will flat out tell you, never consume those 0 sugar Reese's products and stuff that you find in the store.
Oh,
because they're garbage ingredients.
I think that, how we get information has changed significantly in the last 10 years, especially.
Yes.
I mean, you think about when is the last time that you've watched a regular commercial?
Right.
So I think that a lot of times companies will send things to influencers to try them. Right. Because no one's going to even know about their product.
Right.
Without, you know what I mean? Because we're just not watching commercials anymore. I know we don't.
And that's why we tell companies that when we do something, they don't have a say in the video. Like, we're gonna, you send me something, I'm giving my honest opinion.
Yeah.
And we've gotten in trouble for that.
I was going to say, there's definitely things.
There was a cheesecake.
Oh my gosh. It's funny because, I think about like commercials we've watched in the past, especially for pharmaceuticals, and they're going through this laundry list of like terrible side effects, but there's like volleyball playing and people running down the beach and having like a great, fantastic day to kind of distract you from like the truth of the information. And I think I actually like the way we see things advertised now, because I feel like you get more of a real life perspective of how you can work it into your life.
Sean, thank you very much for the $50 super chat. Said happy early birthday, Joe. Thank you for all you do in the community. I wish we could be there for the first leg to wish you a happy birthday on the day, but at least we'll get to spend time with you on the second leg. Super excited to see you guys,
we
Sean.
Are.
So yeah, we will be leaving for the 2KK getaway cruise or birthday cruise this year on Thursday. We're actually heading down to stay with Anthony on Wednesday night.
What's cool is we get to hang out because Sean and Shell, both of y'all have birthdays in the month of December as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited that we just get to celebrate everybody's birthday together.
Okay, so welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. We do it live whenever possible, just to let you guys know. Next week will not be live, but will be pre-recorded because
we'll be on the cruise.
We will be on the 2KK birthday cruise. But we do it live whenever possible. The way we're going to do this is go through everything we have pre-prepared, and then we will address the chat. So if you have a question, hold off till then, or use the super chat function like Sean did, because this way it highlights our screen and we don't miss it. Let's start off with this one right here from Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia.
Cynthia put up this meme and said, honesty is telling the truth to ourselves and others. Integrity is living that. She said, sometimes we make promises to ourselves that we have no intention of keeping, and those can be the most harmful. I believe when I make a commitment to myself, living in integrity means keeping that promise. Sometimes I feel like I live in a world where there are few people willing to keep their word to others, much less than to themselves. I believe that every time you break a promise you made to yourself takes a piece of you. If you do it over and over again, soon there'll be nothing left.
Wow, Cynthia, that is like a really powerful thing to ponder right now. I think about that as far as what we've learned is proper food for our body. What is nutrition? What is nutrient density? What is going to bless my life? In today's Substack, I actually talk about how you can have a better chance of staying out of assisted living for as long as possible. And of course, the two, pillars of that is going to be nutrition and the mobility that you maintain for yourself. So that's the truth. We've learned the truth. We've watched enough videos. We've read enough books. We know how to move forward with that and turn this knowledge that we've gained into wisdom in our lives. But like she's saying, every day that I'm sitting there at a plate, no longer ignorant of what is right and what is best for my body, if I ignore that, you're right. I think it does take a piece out of you. And then when you see inflammation show up in your body, right, or you see yourself stiffer because you haven't moved in a while, you do feel bad in a different way because you know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Next one we have is from Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Nancy said, today at our Central Florida Keto meetup at Disney Springs, we were discussing how much weight we've lost. Each of us has lost. We added it up with 13 of us together. We have lost on keto or carnivore 1,342 pounds. 0.67 tons of weight we have lost. Congratulations to each and every one of you. You should be proud of yourself and the awesome success we have so far. She also put up this picture, and this just makes my heart happy.
It's so beautiful. We were blessed to be able to see
a few people
in that picture because we came to Disney Springs at the same time, just to see if we could see anybody. And then we went to Universal to spend the rest of the afternoon with Peyton because it was her birthday weekend. But it was so awesome that they took the time during their beautiful time of fellowship to really add that up.
Yeah.
And what was really a blessing is knowing that everybody is at a different place in their health and wellness journey. Everybody eats a little bit differently because they're all doing a rightful N=1 experiment on themselves and what works for them best. But look at that. It all adds to the community. It's all making a difference. And as a group, sometimes we say to ourselves, I've only lost X, Y, and Z. But when you bring this into community, the win just becomes piling up. right?
Yeah.
The blessing is something that you can't deny.
Yeah.
1,300 pounds of weight loss sitting around that table is absolutely incredible.
And accomplished different ways. I mean, that was kind of the point of yesterday's video. There were a couple comments on yesterday's video have like, we're the ones causing the divide.
You're the problem,
like,
Joe.
no, we're trying to bring everybody together at that table. That table represents a lot of different types of eating. There are some people that are strict carnivores, some people that are keto, some people that are a stricter form of keto, but everybody can come together.
Yes.
And that is our whole point. You know? And again, the problem isn't so much that the influencers. The problem really becomes a lot of like the keyboard warriors who go into the groups and the comments on the influencers and beat people up. Again, when you have commenters telling the person who puts out the video that they're doing it wrong,
that can be very upsetting.
That is where our problem is. But it's so exciting to see a group of people who are all on a similar lifestyle of the proper human diet, but a different spectrum coming together with that amount of weight loss.
It's just total victory. And I love like all the faces and everybody just enjoying the holidays. And something that is really beautiful is the fact that, you know, whether you get together and you have food or you're just out for a day of strolling and looking at beautiful Christmas lights and shopping together and just enjoying some laughs, I think about how different our holidays are since we have focused on better nutrition.
Next one we have is from Katrina.
Hey, Katrina.
Said, I finally convinced my doctor to let me get a CAC scan done. I've been keto for almost 9 years. Happy to see a score of 0.
Katrina, we are rejoicing with you. Talk about a reason to stay consistent.
Yes.
Like I don't think you ever look back on proper nutrition, right? And say, boy, being consistent was a total waste of time. It wasn't. There's a lot of things that I could invest my thoughts in, my energy in, and my money on that don't yield those kind of results. But to look back and say like, man, I've been consistent. I've been going at this. Like we're turning the corner into a decade of doing this. And look at this. I'm healthier now than I was a decade ago.
Next one we have is from Larry.
Larry.
Major non-scale victory. I was able to bend over and pick up the change which fell from my pants pocket without losing my breath or using anything to help me get down there.
That is awesome. This is victory.
Yes.
This is exactly what we're talking about. And I hope that everybody is going to be, you know, stocking their stuffing of the holidays or stuffing their stocking rather for the holidays with these little victories. You know, the stocking was always my favorite part of Christmas because, I mean, Joe would always tease me that I would turn a little stocking into like a $5,000 thing. But the stocking was where I would really like to get the little beautiful things that the kids I knew would like the best, but maybe they wouldn't think is going to be underneath the tree. They'd be little things, but they'd be really precious. And I really always tried to make the kids' stocking something that's really catered to just them. And I think that that's what we need to think about when it comes to hanging up the stockings on the mantle of your life, that they're all going to be very unique. And these are the kind of victories. I can now bend over and pick something up without getting winded or getting dizzy or needing help.
Right.
I think that's just a little victory that you need to keep with you for the holidays.
And this is just a reminder that, you know, when we ask you to share your story, it doesn't have to be that you've lost 100 pounds. It could be as simple as Katrina celebrating the fact that she's got a CAC score of a 0.
That's amazing.
Or that Larry is saying, I can pick up my change without losing breath. I mean, those to me are huge victories, especially like when you look at Katrina's and what do you hear from people? Eating all this meat's going to cause heart problems. And here she goes. She has a CAC score of a 0.
Those are some sexy arteries.
So I do want to encourage you, please share your story. Head on over to our Mighty Networks group. It's completely free, members.2krazyketos.com, or to our Facebook group and share your story. Just put a little short blurb. You can put a picture, not put a picture of what your story is. And we like to share these stories because your story, yes, it will help inspire other people, but it's also good for you.
Yes.
To go remind you of where you came from. But there are people out there right now going, I'm not getting the progress I want. I don't think I can do this. But when you share your story, you're doing a couple things. Number one, you're telling them it is possible. And number two, you may be helping them to recognize something that they didn't even see as a victory. So if you have somebody who maybe like, I haven't lost all the weight I want, and that's all they're focusing on is I haven't lost the weight I want, but they're not recognizing that all of a sudden they could bend over and pick up their change. I'll never forget when Rachel first realized that I didn't have to tie her shoes anymore.
That was a blessing. And I still find victory in that. Right. It's like when my birthday passes, it's like another year where I can still do things for myself. It makes me feel very strong, very powerful. And I'll tell you what, when you share your victory, especially like throughout the week, something that you notice during the week, this is how, as a community, we bring the conversation back into an optimistic place for everybody to find encouragement. Yeah. Because when they see, no matter what, if you're like, man, I'm totally carnivore, and hey, thanks to carnivore, I can now do X, Y, and Z. Dude, we want to shout that out. If somebody says, hey, man, I'm on the Mediterranean diet and I can do X, Y, Z, we want to shout that out.
Right.
Like, this is how we can share and come to like a community table. I love that.
Next one is from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
Am I crazy, as a 59-year-old female with osteoporosis even, that I purchased the Keto Brick Free Savage Program Cooler Black Friday special on a payment plan? I do eat a sliver of Keto Brick almost every day as a treat and almost do work out 5 days a week, strength, cardio, osteosafe program. But I'm curious as to about his keto method. I just want someone to tell me that it's a wise investment. I'm going to tell you that was an amazing investment. Yes. And I probably should have had us make a couple of posts about it. So if you didn't know, and I don't think it's too late, I think it's still going on today, but Keto Brick, Robert Sykes, Keto Savage, they did a deal over the weekend that I think if it was, you spent $500 on Keto Brick, you got a free cooler, but more importantly, you got the Live Savage system for free. That Live Savage system, it's which like we own, is $800. So you're getting $500 in Keto Bricks, which will last for a long time. We keep ours in the freezer to even make them last longer. But $500 worth of Keto Brick and then a free $800. So that's like saying, the better way to look at it is I paid $500 for the Live Savage system, which normally costs so that's $800
off.
And you got $500 in Keto Brick
for free. Yeah.
And I think you're going to really enjoy that program. You don't have to be a weightlifter to follow his protocol and to follow the program. And then it's every Tuesday he goes live. He's got an entire AI built for it. It's a really, really good system. That was a smart move, Teresa.
The AI alone that he has is built into like all of his knowledge, and it's not watered down. If you use AI outside of something like his system where it's like he's inputting the information, you're going to get confusing.
You're going to get the right information when he's done it.
You use an outside AI, you're getting a confusing system. You ask the AI within the Keto Savage program, and you are going to get stuff that is just focused on the keto and carnivore lifestyle. This dude is a wealth of information. Having access to the check-ins is amazing because you can ask him any question. No, he's not a doctor, but I don't know anybody that has done more to take like ownership of his personal like bodybuilding, and there's almost nothing he doesn't know.
It's funny you say he's not a doctor. I'm going to tell you he's been in this space longer than most of the doctors who've been in this space.
He's somebody doctors go to.
Has more knowledge on this. I remember when he went and met with Dr. Berry and was telling Dr. Berry about his protocol and things with Dr. Berry changed. So he's got a wealth of knowledge. Good job. There is a link for the Keto Brick as well as a Live Savage system down below. But yeah, I was super excited when I saw that. And it's funny because, you were just talking about the whole idea of just focusing on things and the fact that he's got this AI and he wrote it. So, the information's in there and is right. I would tell you, especially if you're coming to figure things out with your lifestyle, don't use standard AI.
No.
It could be wrong. For example, yesterday, I was trying to figure things out with our Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor thing. I was like, we're supposed to go diamond after this cruise. And I'm like trying to figure out, like, make sure we're going to actually be diamond, right? So I asked ChatGPT about the Crown and Anchor Society. And it said, well, it's 55 points. You become you become a platinum member.
Right.
And I had to correct it. And they're like, it's 105 points, you become diamond. But that's actually not true. I had to go in and like, are you sure about that? Because I was looking on the Royal Caribbean website and then it came back, oh, you are right, Joe. This is actually what it is.
Are you telling me
But
that
if I didn't tell it was wrong, then it wouldn't have known that it was wrong.
It reminds me of that commercial, years ago where it's like, well, if it's on the internet, it's got to be right.
Right. So here was ChatGPT was completely wrong, but that's because it takes all this information. But Robert's AI, he hand wrote all of the answers and stuff, so you can be confident that it's going to give you what you need for his program.
And I don't care if you are 20 years old or you are 100 years old. Do yourself a favor going into the new year. Give yourself the gift of this mindset. You are a body builder. You have a body and only you can build it. So somebody who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 1970s is a bodybuilder, but so is Joe right now and Joe 10 years ago. You're a bodybuilder. Now you're choosing whether or not you're showing up for the job every day, right? We're
you're
different.
Choosing what kind of body you're building.
You're choosing what kind of body you're building, but you are a bodybuilder. So stop saying to yourself, if something you've been currently, or you've been, going your mindset, well, only people who are gym guys or gym gals, they look like American Gladiator, those are bodybuilders, and I'm somehow a different human. No, you have a body, you're supposed to be building it, and you're adding to the build, or you are letting it go into disrepair as to your choosing, right?
I did see Caprice is here and said I can only pop in for a minute at work today, caring for my mother-in-law. I think watching her Stand American Diet Fuel decline has strengthened my resolve to keto hard.
Wow.
I just wanted to read this before we move on and just wanted to give a shout out to Caprice, as well as Robin F., who are constantly in our Mighty Networks group encouraging people with movement, putting up the pictures that they're doing, Caprice, every day, putting up, here's my movement, here's my movement, here's my movement. Robin F. on all of her excursions. So thank you, because it's inspiring to me. If to nobody else, it's inspiring to me. Thank you. Next one we have is from Robin F. actually.
Hey, Robin.
Said, I've gone through periods of eating 700 to 800 calories a day when following a keto way of eating. It happens about 2 weeks into eating nearly zero carbs. About a week after it happens, I realize I'm not eating a lot, so I start tracking, and that's how I figure out that I'm significantly under eating. I definitely do better when I eat more than 2,000 calories a day.
But this really shows you that, just things ebb and flow, and you will naturally sometimes undereat, sometimes overeat, and you almost have to track in order to even know where you are sometimes.
Right.
But this is really demonstrating that, the day gets away from you. And it is different when you are using a keto way of eating, because you're on a slow energy burn. Right. So it's not like when you were on heavy carbohydrates where the carbs are running your day, telling you all the time, you got to eat, you got to eat, you got to eat. And sometimes, you can go for a long time and just not even feel like you need to eat.
Next one is from Andy.
Hey, Andy.
How about we spend the next few days posting victories and what we are thankful for? I resisted my sister's homemade yeast rolls. I'm thankful for my mom's tears yesterday. She didn't think that I could come for Thanksgiving. So when I drove all the way there, she cried in the driveway and gave me a huge a bear hug.
Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes.
That is so awesome. Like you said, just to be in the presence of your mother, to be with her and see how much you are still loved, that you are still her little girl, and you're her little boy, and you are there for the holidays, and it makes her holidays blessed. I'm excited that my mama bear is coming with us on the 2KK cruise for the first time.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, though. Here's what I want everybody to do after the video: go down into the comment section or go over to our Mighty Networks group and post that kind of stuff.
Yes, please.
Go and post like what you're thankful for, or maybe your strategy for how you're going to get through the holidays, as we're going to talk about in a second, or victories that you had getting through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it be resisting yeast rolls or whatever, go put those victories down below.
I think, when we go to the parks or we go to Disney Springs, I'm always excited to see somebody in a t-shirt that like grabs my attention, right? Either it's something that's like very holiday-ish and you're like, oh, that's super cute. I love that. I love the play on Grinchmas or, things like that. Or I like it when we're, out and you see a dinosaur shirt, you see something that just grabs your attention. Why don't we be the t-shirts that people can read, right? When we've gone to Keto Palooza in the past, if a speaker makes a important point that really blesses your life, she usually has this little thing you put up like that'll t-shirt, because it's something that is an encouragement that people want to remember. Be the encouragement that people can take into their week.
Next one is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
My 87-year-old mother requested pizza. I asked her what toppings she wanted. Then I delivered this chicken crust prep, mushroom and green pepper pizza. She's been keto for about 10 years now. Loves it.
I love that. I think it's, instead of prep, I think it was pepperoni that she was talking about. But like, yeah, that looks so good. And I love the fact that even though we eat a lot of meat, you can still have things like pizza. Yes. Like it's still possible. There's so many recipes out there.
We have a recipe on our channel
chicken
crust pizza. We have two of them, chicken crust and chicken crust 2.0.
But there's also like fathead dough recipes. We have those too. And I mean, there's a way to enjoy beautiful food, fun food.
Let's take a quick fade to black.
And we're back.
Okay, let's get into today's topic. We just want to talk a couple of minutes about how do we get through the holidays? Like, is it okay to cheat on the holidays? And then we're going to have a longer video / podcast to kind of get into this topic. But I kind of wanted to put this on people's minds as you're coming in. It's December 1st. We're going to start having parties. Like, how do we get through the holidays? And is it okay to cheat? I'm going to go at it from the idea of if you're on keto or carnivore, I don't think it's okay to go off plan, because we're allowing things to creep back into our lives, which sometimes could be harder to get rid of. I'm more on the Dr. Berry line that, like, if you're a carnivore, cheat with keto.
Right.
Okay. If you are a keto person, maybe allow yourself to lax up a little bit on like having a dessert every once in a while, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have a dessert. And when I say dessert, though, I'm talking about a keto-friendly dessert, not something that like, oh, I'm going to allow myself a cupcake. No, I'm talking about a mug cake that uses erythritol or allulose and almond flour or some other type of alternative flour. I don't think it's ever okay to go to eat the standard American diet for a few days on keto, especially when it comes to treats and candies.
I think that as somebody who has done a lot of damage to themselves over the years, you can really have a major amount of weight gain and inflammation going into the new year. I've allowed myself to kind of get into that mentality, in the past before we started keto. And particularly that week after Christmas, when you're getting like all of the, the holiday food and then like maybe some time off of work, I have really hurt myself. And it's sad on a bunch of, different ways. Number one, I don't enjoy the holidays as much. And here we are in the holidays. So maybe I have some time off work and I've worked really hard all throughout the year in order to be able to enjoy the holidays off of work with my family. And now I feel like crud. I feel in pain. I feel bloated. I'm kind of ashamed of myself because I know better, and so it's really undermining to work so hard, and then you have this special time with the family and you're either like you're really tired, you have a stomach ache, a headache because you've really overdone it, and then you're going into January and you feel like you need to recover whatever momentum that you had after the fall. And that's really, really tragic because you're like, January feels like, man, I wanted to just start from where I ended on this in the summer and then keep going, but I feel like I have to recover what I undid of my progress throughout the fall and in the Christmas season. And that's really, it really knocks your mindset and it puts you in a really bad mental space starting out a new year.
So coming into the holidays, how are some ways that we can continue to celebrate without going off the rails with food? And again, my thing is maybe loosening up a little bit within the proper human diet spectrum, saying to yourself, like, you know what, for this Christmas meal, I'm going to allow myself a sweet potato if that's something that you want. Not a dessert, not grandma's cookies or grandma's cupcakes or grandma's apple pie. Find a keto version of it. I'm talking about more of staying within that proper human diet, but also finding other ways to celebrate without food.
Well, I think that's really interesting. So there's been this kind of like viral TikTok, Instagram reel thing you've maybe seen lately where someone says, I need a break because I'm like emotionally overwhelmed, but I don't smoke. And so you see them go outside of their business or they go outside of their house to like get a moment to themselves. And they're bringing with them the little Debbie snack cake Christmas trees. And they're tapping the box as if it's like a carton of, cigarettes. And they pull out one of those little Debbie things to consume in order for them to have like a moment of peace and comfort. And I think what struck me the most when I'm seeing these, I mean, of course, it gives you a chuckle, but at the same time, I think, boy, my non-scale victory is in a moment of overwhelm, or if I have like, some emotions or something that I have to like, handle, we're going to be faced with that kind of thing, of course, in life. I don't even think about food at all. It's not like, oh, well, I don't smoke and I need to go get a bag of beef jerky even. I love the fact that I have other coping mechanisms. I can just go for a walk. I can call somebody and talk to them because we've, curated friendships, right? We've invested in friendships. I love the fact that I can go pet my animals or go take care of them. And it kind of puts into perspective that, this moment of overwhelm will pass and there's a larger purpose for my life. And so I think it's really a victory that you can handle the holidays differently because we've learned other coping skills than just when I want to celebrate, I have to eat, or when I'm sad, I have to eat, or when I'm, emotional, I have to eat, right? There's other things that we can do.
Next one we have is from, I have no idea.
J.L. Yarborough.
I enjoy your channel. I have been primarily keto for the last 2 years, maybe a little more keto over the last 6 months or so. I lost more weight, 80 pounds, when I was just keto for some reason. I now lean more heavily on meat, but still some veggies. Extremists either way make this unsustainable. Keep up the good work. I still need to lose about 75 more pounds and intend on remaining keto for the rest of my time on this beautiful orb.
I love this. And I also really appreciate, when people share, like, how long have they been doing this? And so you've had amazing results in 2 years. And even within that 2 years, you're seeing like expansion, contraction. I do things a little better, here. I do things a little different here. And I love this conversation that you're having with yourself. But I think it's really important for us to remember, particularly if you've been with us since the start of the channel, here's somebody that's been doing keto for just 2 years. There's people that have just been doing keto for 1 year. There's people that have just started thinking about nutrition this year, and this will be the first holiday season that they're hoping to successfully navigate the holidays. And I feel blessed that we can be, surrounding these people with encouragement and helping them have tips for like how to make things work. through the holidays. Like, isn't that a victory for the whole community?
Yeah.
I love it.
Next one we have is from Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
What other bases besides heavy cream and butter could a keto chow ice cream be made from? I have peppermint keto chow and I want to make a higher protein, lower fat treat. So other bases that are going to be good to make it ice cream would be avocado oil or beef tallow. Those are going to be the best ones to use to make ice cream. Here is, and also just keto chow in general.
Sure.
The only thing that I would say, honestly, and also if you head over to Maria,
egg too.
No, if you head over to Maria Emmerich's recipes, she's got the one where she's using a coconut oil.
Oh yeah.
And I forget the name that they actually call it, but it's basically one that doesn't solidify.
Right.
It's kind of like MCT oil, but not only MCTs, right? That would be good as well. The only thing that I am going to say is to make keto chow ice cream, you really do need to have fat in there. You really do need to have 300 to 400 calories worth of fat. Otherwise, it's just water.
Kim's like ice milk.
It's not even ice milk. It won't blend properly for an ice cream. And you are risking, if you're doing this in a creamy, which is what I'm assuming you're doing, you're risking hurting the creamy. So the creamy specifically says, do not just put water in there and freeze it. There's got to be something in there. And if you just use keto chow, you're essentially just water with a little bit of milk protein isolate, but not enough. And you're risking damaging your creamy because it's basically an ice block.
So what I would advise is allowing your creamy to have more fat in it and looking to remove fat in other things, if that's important to you. You know what I'm saying? So like you can have the creamy and then you can have something like, 90-10 ground beef or, some chicken out of the can, chicken breast or shrimp or something like that, where you're like, hey, I want to, I'm having eyes on my fat content, leave the ice cream with fatty and patrol other things that are not, ice cream for fat.
Next one is from Eileen.
Hi, Eileen.
I'm 72 and I had mostly digestive issues most of my life. Thanks, Dad. I've been trying really hard to be carnivore for the last year and have given in to vegetables, sugar, and alcohol and whatever might be a problem for me. I'm trying, but not being perfect. I don't want to see it as a I don't want to see it as a failure, probably. I don't want to see it as a failure, but perhaps an experiment when I stray from the plan. Thanks for saying that it is okay.
We love you, Eileen. I think that it's important when we feel like, man, I'm starting to go down this hill and I'm rolling fast into a direction I don't want to go. I need to look back and say, what is starting this? What is the root of this? When it comes to disordered eating and drinking and, a lot of things that kind of blow off steam, for some people it's gambling, for some people it's like shopping, right? There's a lot of things, we can be hard on ourselves as far as like eating goes, but a lot of people have disordered relationships with, coping mechanisms. It's a good thing to look back and just say, what's really the root of this? Because this is just the fruit of the issue. What sets me on this course? What are maybe some things that I need to look at that are stressing me out? Is there some things I need to deal with in my emotions? Do I need to maybe forgive somebody or forgive myself for some stuff going on? Do I need to, manage some things? Do I need to handle some relationships? I think it's important for us to go back and look at the root cause. We are always going to cheer everybody on. You never need to feel like, hey, if I'm not eating perfectly, I need to go out of this group and I'll come back when I get my life together. No, don't do that. Don't withhold community from yourself. We love you no matter what is on your plate, but we would love to help rally around you and help you as you kind of like take an inventory of what's going on and kind of like what heads you in that bad direction. That's we've had to do that for ourselves. Yeah. Surely.
Next one is from Jody.
Hey, Jody.
The push towards zero carbs and our carb shaming by many influencers really muddying the dialogue and confusing people trying to find their way. I'm going back to the beginning, starting slow by eliminating the things that trigger me and seeing how it goes. N equals 1.
Jody, I think that is a fantastic idea. It's definitely something that we're going to be doing, starting in January. We're going to be going back to a Keto Basics 101 type of structure. And we're looking forward, sharing with everybody soon, some things that we're going to be doing, workshopping some things.
But this again was the whole point of yesterday's video, which overall we did get a very positive response to it. There were a few people that we were talking about actually in the video, keyboard warring. I've never seen anybody talk about we have, you're being an example in it right now in the video, but we've put up recipe videos and then been shamed for using garlic.
Oh, sure. It can get crazy. I see the Carnivore Bar is here. Don't forget their sale for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is still going on.
Yes.
Don't miss it. This is the best sale we've ever seen. It's amazing.
Next one is from, I read Jody's, from D-Throg.
Hello, D-Throg.
My wife and I found that we ultimately stalled on low carb after a few years, so we aren't eating that way anymore, and we moved to a whole food moderate carb. But despite the dietary difference, we find a lot of value in the 2KK channel.
Thank you.
You are both great people, and I'm thankful for the compassion that you show towards everybody in your community. Carnivore, in some circles, has definitely turned dogmatic. I agree the real enemy is ultra-processed food, and whole foods are the answer.
Thank you so much for your comment and for your encouragement. We really appreciate that. And yeah, I think that, what I'm really hoping is if you trying to ask questions. Maybe you're in Facebook groups. We see it a lot more in, Facebook groups. You see it sometimes in a comment section of your favorite YouTubers, where it's kind of like some just angry talk, or somebody asks a question and you feel like someone is like blasting like way too hard. Like they're answering it, but not, they're not believing the best about the question. They're just answering like really hard and kind of being mean about stuff. If you feel like you've received that, we want you to know that you don't have to internalize that. If somebody's being harsh with you, you can just say, oh, this is one of those keyboard warriors that Joe and Rachel are talking about. And you know what? The larger community doesn't feel this way about me.
Right.
It's not that I'm asking stupid questions. It's not that, just because I struggle, it doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that if I am incorporating more carbs into my life right now, or I'm on a GLP-1, that I'm doing something wrong and I should be ashamed. This is my life. This is my health journey. And there are a lot of people that are rooting for me no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, just remember with keyboard warriors, they're always going to be the loudest.
Yeah.
It's just like reviews on products.
Sure.
I see people go in. I use when I say reviews on products, I mean go to Amazon and I want to buy something and you look at the reviews. I will quickly glance at reviews, especially like on an appliance, to see what. Is there, if there's something with a low review, I will go and look and see what is the commonality. Is everybody saying after 3 months the compressor went? Okay, then there's probably a compressor problem.
Right.
Okay, but keep in mind that most people who are happy don't leave a review.
They just don't say anything.
I can tell you I'm one of those people, right or
Me
wrong.
too.
It's rare that I go in and buy, hey, I bought this amazing new flask and it was great. And it kept I don't have time to do that.
Right.
When am I going to go and say something? I'm going to go and say something and go, this is a piece of garbage.
Right.
Don't ever buy it.
I'm so mad and I called their customer service and they were stinky.
Just know that complainers are always going to be the loudest.
Right.
And that's where you kind of have to ignore them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard, but just keep that in mind.
Sometimes I have to say in my, for myself, because it's not just, and this is anywhere, right? It's just that if we're rightfully focusing on our health and our wellness, so this is an important topic. So maybe we're going to be in Facebook groups related to health and wellness more than other things in our life, right? But as people who are homesteading, we can join homesteading things in RVing. You see it in RVs. Facebook groups where there's always keyboard warriors in whatever group that you're interested in, where I will ask, like, we're going to be getting kuni pigs when we get back from the cruise. And I'm excited about that.
Maybe I'll look at some today or tomorrow.
But as we are, asking questions as newbies in this space, you do run into people who are so thankful that there's somebody new coming in, and you want to help that person develop this love for an animal that you are also raising, right? You want them to be really good. You want them to succeed. And so you want to cheer them on and give them great tips. But there's also people who are like, there's enough people raising this animal and you'll probably do it wrong and you're stupid for wanting to, like
we saw
crazy.
A video yesterday. So we were listening to videos and watching videos on kuni pigs. If you don't know what kuni pig is, it is a heritage breed pig. So a lot of
New Zealand.
A lot of the pigs that you see raised and the pork we buy are not heritage. They've been crossbred to grow really fast. And so kuni pigs are heritage breeds. But more importantly, what we like about them is they're grazers. They graze on grass. You do feed them, but they eat very little like external feed. So they graze on grass. They don't really root because of the way their snout is turned up.
Nose.
So they don't dig up and ruin your lawn. But the result of that is they take a lot longer to grow.
A year.
So instead of getting pork in 6 months, it's going to take a year to 18 months to get pork. And it results, though, in a sweeter, cleaner, marbled meat. And also, they're super sweet temperaments. They're not nasty. Pigs could be really nasty.
They're a lard pig, too. So their lard comes out super pure.
Right. So we've learned, we've been researching kuni pigs for about a year. Okay, and now we're ready to move to the next aspect on our farm. We watched one video, and this person's how, like, I've lost my shirt, never do this. And I'm like, but everything they said they did, every other raiser of kuni pigs is like, don't do that.
Don't do that thing. And they're like, I decided to do everything the opposite.
And then, but the video is like, this is the worst thing in the world to do. Don't ever get kuni pigs.
But for
well, you followed every wrong
out
advice.
Of 250 different people we've talked to, one person is just really angry about their experience, and they're going to tell everybody, right?
Next one is from 782HRR. Can I use your milk recipe for latte drinks?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons that we did it.
Because I love...
Because who wants oat milk lattes?
Well, I just love lattes. And that is something that I've had to say bye-bye to on keto, but not anymore now that we have Joe's milk recipe.
John said, I'm not sure about cutie pigs, but I like tasty pigs. Yeah, these
tasty.
Are kuni, Kune, all one word.
They're small and round. They're also, that's another thing.
The fact that Rachel wants a pig, when we moved to this farm, Rachel's like, we will never have pigs. And now she was like, I want to start with pigs. Because we were looking at cows. We have opted, like, we are not doing the bull deal that our neighbor wants. Because I don't want to have to wait 3 years and it's still a bull.
Right.
So we still are going to do cattle probably next year sometime, but we want to get into the pigs first.
Yeah. But it's funny. I was definitely, because I've been around hogs a lot throughout my life, and just especially wild hogs, they're destructive. Like
that's why there's no hunting season.
And I didn't want them just tearing up the yard. Yeah. And so I'm also excited, since it's just Joe and I, also, we needed a smaller pig. So these are going to be like 200 pounds.
You're going to butcher them at 150 pounds.
As opposed to the 500 plus pound pig that was here when we got the property, right? Yeah. Like, that's just too much for us to have to deal with.
Last one is from Pepper.
Hey, Pepper.
Joe and Rachel, I want to thank you for all your hard work on always providing content that resonates with me at the right time.
Aww.
I may not be as consistent as I should be, but I know I can count on your consistency to get me back on track.
Pepper, thank you so much. And you know what? You are consistent because you come back time after time, right? Like, I love that. I love the fact that, yeah, things, we ebb and we flow, right? I mean, there's times of, we're really tight and we're watching things and we're tracking stuff. And then there's different seasons where, maybe we loosen things a little bit. And I do want to encourage you, like, during the holiday season, loosen the reins a little bit, but with how hard you are on yourself, right? Allow yourself during the holiday season to rest. If you need to take a nap, if you would like to go look at Christmas lights, but you're like, man, there's other work I need to do. I need to really clean the house, or I need to do this. You know what? Use the dishwasher if you're used to like only hand washing everything, and loosen the reins in that way. I think that sometimes during the holidays, especially for, moms and dads, grandparents, like you're caring for others. Maybe you're, a caregiver to somebody in this season. And, when you don't allow yourself some time to kind of get away and to have a little rest, that's where I would say loosen the reins a little bit when it comes to allowing some joy in your life. It's really not the stuff. It's not buying the stuff. It really is about just enjoying your life.
Let's get into the comments. Penny said, if the milk separates a day later, does that mean I didn't blend it long enough? It could mean that, it didn't emulsify properly. Just throw it back in your blender and blend it up again. You can add a little bit more xanthan or guar gum to it while it's running, and that will help to emulsify it.
Sean said, one of my old bosses used to say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but sometimes it gets replaced. Sure made the squeaky people think more about squeaking. That is great. And I hope that, honestly, people that are just deciding to be mean understand that the people who really love community have had enough. And we are not going to just like roll over and allow people to be mean to others.
Right.
I sometimes confuse like being a Christian with being a doormat. Right. God didn't call us to be a doormat.
No, we're a warrior.
Sometimes when people are like, well, that's not very Christian that like you got after somebody. It's like, but if I feel like I'm protecting the larger community and making it a safer space for like new people to feel welcome, that I'm not going to apologize for being tougher. Like, I don't think that, I would have been a good mom if I never put the kids in timeout, right? Or you never had any discipline, or there was never any consequences for your actions, particularly if you hurt someone else. And, we've gotten a lot of emails over the years that you talk about getting something that breaks your heart is when someone says, I just got treated so meanly. I love you guys, but I've closed down all my social media. Yep. I'm just not going to go see anything anymore. And is it okay if I just direct email you if I have a question, if I decide to stick with it? Oh, I mean, I feel broken.
John said, my first Thanksgiving on keto, I learned how bad seed oil mayo was for inflammation.
Oh,
yes, that's me too.
Yeah.
What is that? Tiundo? Cheat meal or no cheat meal depends on how mindful you handle it. Yeah. I agree to a point. Here is the thing, is that for many people, a cheat meal becomes a cheat day, becomes a cheat week, becomes a cheat month, and then you never go back. That is part of the problem. There are some people that will have a cheat meal
and jump right back in.
And then there's other people like myself that my first year on keto, I allowed myself just like an eighth of a slice of a slice, like not an eighth of a pie, an eighth of a slice, just a couple of little bites of a piece of pie. And then I was sick for a week and was like, oh yeah, no, never, ever, ever will I do that again. There's very few people that happens. A lot of people give into their addiction or their cravings and are willing to deal with it. I talk about myself with cheese, right? Cheese causes me to be phlegmy, but I won't give up cheese.
Right.
Because there are a lot of us that will work through issues that something causes because of the pleasure that we get in that short-term bliss of consuming it. Our whole thing is that it also depends on where you are in your journey. If you just got started on keto 3 or 4 months ago, or on carnivore 3 or 4 months ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then you go to try to have a cheat meal, allowing yourself sugars, carbs, a bunch of starches, wheat, things like that. Number one, it's going to be very difficult to go back. But number two, it's going to take you a long time to recover. If you have somebody like us who's been keto for 9 years just about, and I go and I have a little bit, I am going to feel like crap for a little while, probably a couple hours, but my body is going to recover like that because it's so used to being fat fueled. I've also healed a lot of my metabolic issues.
Yeah, but
if you haven't, then if you're new, there should be zero reason to have a cheat
meal. But the problem for us is not metabolic flexibility. It's mental flexibility. So you can be like completely like, hey, you will, you could have that thing and then the next day not be like craving it in your body, but you can't get it off your mind.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I
don't do bread.
You go back to that next plate of steak and you're mad at it. Instead of it being like a place of nourishment that you're like, oh, nutrient density, I'm in this. Let's go. We're go. You're like, yesterday I was with a better meal. Yeah. Yesterday's meal was way better than this. So for us, it's more of like the mental thing, but that's all about you. You've got to, you got to be honest with yourself and then not be ashamed. If you are somebody who can bounce right back, that's awesome. Don't be ashamed of that.
Is that Ma One? I don't know.
Well, hello.
It says, my resolve to stay on track just got stronger. Diabetic brother-in-law heading to pre-op shortly for a toe amputation. No. Tried for years to encourage him to try my ketogenic lifestyle to
I'm going to put him down. Avail. We'll be praying for him.
John said, I buy Sam's 3 meats pizza and strip 4 slices and leave a pile of crust behind. Sam's has the best pizza. Like, it beats Costco pizza when it comes to eating it. And,
amount of cheese?
Well, just if you're like myself or John, I love pizza. And I want to enjoy pizza not at home sometimes, where it's not just like, my chicken crust pizza, which is the way we make pizza. But if I go on a cruise or someplace, sometimes I want pizza. If I'm sitting down at a restaurant, and there is a way to eat it on keto and carnivore, and that is you just eat the toppings up. Buy something like with a lot of, not just a cheese pizza, but with a lot of toppings, and you just strip the toppings off and you leave the crust behind. When we go on the cruise, we call it a pizza stack. So Costco has pizza and Sam's has pizza. I will tell you that Sam's Club has the best pizza for doing this. Costco's is a lot of bread, but not a lot of toppings. Sam's, you're pulling a pound of toppings off of that thing. And it's cheap.
Do they have a meat one?
Yes.
Because like Costco got rid of their
Supreme.
They
got rid of their Supreme.
Right.
Sam's has like a 3 meat and they have a Supreme one. And when you pull that stuff off, you have a pile of toppings like that. Yeah. Like 2 slices will fill you up. I mean, it's just really, really good. What is that one? Demoring?
Damn original.
You guys got some interesting names.
I know.
My sister-in-law find it amazing that I can sit while everyone else is digging in desserts. I just smile with joy. Typically, I make a large fatty coffee with some sucralose or stevia.
Well, here's the thing. When you're having like, especially like, Thanksgiving, Christmas, any type of a party, what are you really there for? I'm there to see these people that I love. And so whether or not like you're drinking a cup of coffee or a glass of water, or you're just sitting there, or people are holding a plate and eating something, whether it's dessert or anything, we're all just visiting and laughing, right? And we're you're telling stories. And so it really doesn't matter what you have in your hand. If I was sitting there and like, petting my mom's dog, right? Like no matter what, you're still there for what the party was intended for, what the dinner was intended for, right, which is visiting with one another. I mean, it's kind of the reason why we tend to use a restaurant or a gathering over food, because you can visit. It's harder if you're like, hey, let's go all out to the movies. Well, that's an activity, but it's harder for everybody to like sit and talk, right? So, but just because we are gathering and there's food available doesn't mean that you can't just visit without eating anything.
Pat said, you two don't review and promote things that you don't use, and they're always something related to a ketogenic, healthy lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, we will review things that we don't use, but it's normally something like, hey, I found this in the store and I'm going to review
Let's
it.
See.
Especially if it's something that I think that somebody can slip up on.
Right.
Okay, like, again, if you go back to that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Zero Sugar that we did a few years ago, that is something that somebody like, that is new to keto is going to walk down the aisle. They're going to pick up and they'll be like, because it says keto right on the front. And so that's where we're going to pick that up and go, whoa, the average person's going to see this. Let's let them know what we think about it. And I'm going to tell you, don't ever consume that garbage, because not just because it's from a sugar company, but because of the ingredients that they're using to make it zero sugar are horrible for you. So we will do that. And then again, if a company is marketing, a way companies market is just Facebook ad, Facebook ad, Facebook ad. And we'll get messages from people, what do you think of this? And sometimes we'll buy it. Sometimes we'll reach out to the company, but we're always going to tell you our honest. Now, we will never promote something we don't use.
No.
Like we've had companies, will you promote? No, I would never use that. Well, can't you promote it anyway? We'll pay you. No. We don't use it. As somebody else earlier said, the only thing we have is our integrity.
That's all we got.
We have our integrity and our faith in God. And neither one of those are for sale.
Well, and I have to answer to the Lord. If we lie, that's when we went on RV Unplugged and we're like, we're not going to lie. And I remember the director going like, well, you're going to be going home very early. And I'm like, well, so be it. But I've been teaching kids for 30 years that, you give your word and you don't lie.
I will never forget.
And they're going to be watching this thing. And if they see that, well, Miss Rachel was like, well, do the right thing when it's convenient, then that's...
I will never forget
gracious.
That. Because if for those of you who may be new, we were on a show called RV Unplugged last year. And there was a point where we had an immunity token.
Yeah.
Thing, right? Or a chance to get it. Right. And so I went to Todd and said, I want to bring somebody into the booth with me so they can see what we get. The funny thing is I've now become friends with Todd.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at the time, right? And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, here's the thing is that I want to be able to come out and honestly tell them what happened and nobody's going to believe me. And he was like, that's the point. We want you to lie. Lying makes controversy, and controversy makes good television. The whole goal is to get you to lie. And I'm like, but we don't want to lie. And that's when he was like, then you're going to be going home.
Right. But it's worth it. And you know what? When we got done with all that, I remember talking to some little kids. Now they're getting bigger. They're going into middle school now. But they were like, you kept your word, Miss Rachel. And that was everything to me.
Yeah.
Like it was talk about, we had a chance at winning $25,000, but that was worth $1 million.
I did see, although I
think it was Reese's birthday today.
Right now, it's on Thursday.
It's on Thursday.
So she was saying that her birthday is on Thursday.
Well, I don't know.
So we're going to go ahead and...
Let's sing now because we don't miss it.
Yes.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Risa. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more.
Bill said, my social media celebration motto is just because it's on the table doesn't mean I have to put it in my mouth.
That is something, thank you for sharing that, Bill. That's exactly how I feel. I use that with a lot of stuff. I think, just because they put breadsticks on the table doesn't mean I have to pick them up and eat them. And I think about that with anybody putting negativity into my life, anybody who is suggesting something that I don't agree with, that it's like, yes, they're putting it on your table and I can be gracious as they put it on the table, but that does not mean that I have to chew on it. I don't have to meditate on it. I don't have to give energy to it. It's there. That's what they can do. Now the ball is in my court as to what I'm going to do with it.
John said, at home, I make a sausage crust pizza in a springform pan stuffed with leftover Sam's rotisserie chicken, bacon, Alfredo sauce, fresh mozzarella, topped with provolone slices and portobello mushrooms.
Yum.
That sounds delicious.
That sounds really delicious.
Diane wants to know, what can you make with eggnog keto chow? Regular keto chow, you can make ice cream. We do have a recipe video for they were like cupcakes that actually won an award a couple of years ago. It's on our website. Stuff with like an eggnog type filling. So it was really delicious. Okay, we are going to get off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
First day of December.
So again, we'll be heading out on the 2KK birthday cruise on Thursday. We will have videos coming up over the next week or while we're gone. Also, again, if you are a member of our paid Mighty Networks group, Rachel will be doing the Wednesday coaching call at 10 a.m. Eastern. Don't forget about all the Black Friday sales. Head on over to those videos. You're not too late for a lot of the Black Friday / Cyber Monday sales. One other thing I should mention, that if you're going on next year's cruise, the 2026 cruise, if you don't have your confirmation, let me know. Everybody should have gotten their confirmation, but I know some people have said they don't have it. So just send me an email at 2kktravel@gmail.com and I'll get that right over to you.
We love you guys.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.